This is Cutting Down the Nets, Tuesday, February 21st. Just finished a bagel. Congratulations on the airball to me tonight. 0-3, super frustrating, but that's the way it goes. I got Howard at 3.5. The line moved to 7. Ask me if that mattered. It did not. I'd like to cash in my closing line value for $0. And then my buddy Norfolk State, the top Paddy play, shot 24 more shots than Coppin State. Dear God. Outright loser. Tough scenes all around. So we move on to Tuesday. Gotta hate losing. But on a side note, conference tournament starts a week from today. Like 1 week from today, we'll have a team eliminated officially their season over. And I think that's kind of fun. All right, here's my board. Top to bottom right now. Got some green, got some yellow, got some orange. Start with Tennessee at Texas A&M. Paddy has this around 2 possessions. Shot quality favors the Aggies as well, even more so factoring in recent play. And then the season-long metrics that, recent efficiency guy doesn't really care about have it pretty close to a pick'em. Let's dig into this game just a little bit. We'll fly through these. We'll start with Texas A&M's profile. You can kind of see what we got here. This is a team that has been pretty consistent with the number of 80s they can throw up for defensive efficiency. And then they're showing an offensive ceiling at times, usually when making shots, but even performing okay when not making an obscene amount of shots. Like 9 out of 24 isn't great. 6 out of 18 isn't great. Still put up an adjusted offensive efficiency there. That high is really strong, mainly due to offensive rebounding. So they have different ways that they can kind of get you. And I like teams like that. I like teams that create extra opportunities. So I want you to note the consistency you see here. We'll go over to Tennessee. I think I tweeted right around here that Tennessee's 3-point defensive luck was inflating their projection by like 4 points. And they've lost 4 out of 6. So sometimes I'm a genius. It doesn't show on the bank account, but it feels good when you're right. This is not consistent. You see higher ceilings in some cases, but much, much, much lower floors. We also have Phillips and Josiah Jordan James, game time decisions. They may play, but give me the home team. Give me the team that's shown more consistency, that's healthy, and didn't have an entire season's worth of like 24% opponent 3-point shooting. So I have played so far just the money line for Texas A&M. I paid a 118 for it, which I don't like to do, but I don't really want to lay any points, okay? That's all. All right, MFL at Vatech. Let's dig into these, and then I'll kind of give you my take there. So I got Miami queued up here. My boy Larinaga. All right. This offense has been humming for at least 6 weeks here, most notably from 3-point range. But they've had like 3 cold shooting days like on the year. And when you have this many shooters, Miller 35% from 3, Wong 38% from 3, Pack 42% from 3, even Poplar, just like everyone can shoot. So you're going to have good days like that. 1 defensive lapse here against Louisville, where that's absurd to give up that type of scoring to Louisville, and their 2-point defense has been rather shaky in the last 3. Vatech, fully healthy Vatech. The offense is there, and 3 defensive performances where they kind of got toasted from 3 are kind of dragging them down a bit. So, I mean, this is a close one. I think what it comes down to for me is the offensive rebound potential for MFL. And they usually get killed on the D glass. Virginia Tech, not a team that can do that. not expecting turnovers really on either side. Both teams protect the ball pretty well. So when you have that situation, kind of a shooting contest, but I like Miami's chances at a couple second chance opportunities. So I played a Miami +2. Again, I think they should be favored by about a possession, even on the road. Even if it's closer to a pick 'em, just give me 2 points as a little bit of a buffer. Shot quality agrees with Paddy on this one too, and even season-long stuff does not have Virginia Tech by 2. So those are the green ones. I've played those. Now let's get to the ones I could play, but I'm having a tough time talking myself into these. Ohio, Northern Illinois, fair enough data play at this point. Paddy's somewhere between like 4 and 8. Shot quality around 8, and we're getting 10. There's some 10.5s out there. Ohio won by 6 2 weeks ago. They are running well from 3, but they have edges on turnovers and offensive rebounds. So it's shaky. I mean, it's kind of thin. Like if you ignored Paddy and looked at median and be like, oh, it's a 1.5 of value, and if you look at shot quality, maybe a point of value. Yeah, it's kind of thin. So if it grew, I'd maybe consider the edges in those 4 factors. I think are kind of concerning for me as well. So you can kind of see that in action here. 303 in ball protection for Northern Illinois. Ohio doesn't press you much, but yeah, Northern Illinois can turn it over without that. And then this is a pretty glaring category here from second chance points perspective. So yeah, I think it's a tricky one. Move on to Iowa State and Texas. Yesterday I noted that even though Okie State was showing as a play, I feel like every time I have this 2 possession, sometimes almost 3 possession, Big 12 road dog, where I have it capped under a possession, it's like a trap. And yep, Okie State got blown out at West Virginia. Now we have Iowa State at Texas. So the first game, Iowa State ran real pure, limited Texas to only 4 offensive rebounds, and Iowa State didn't turn the ball over at all, which I do not expect to happen in this game. I do think Carr can handle the Iowa State pressure, and Iowa State just has this year-long profile that's inflated by their home games, and then they lose on the road. They've lost 6 straight road games. Still a good team. I mean, they're fine, but they're definitely better at home. So what I'm doing here, I'll show you because you can do the same thing. I have taken a stance here and said, show me how these teams do against quad 1 games using the current net, and I wanted to see those splits. And when I look at Iowa State, where are you at, Iowa State? There we are. This is the defensive turnover category. I think it was John Fendler that first noted this like a month ago, and it's stayed consistent. What this is saying is that they have a 9 to 10% less defensive turnover rate when facing good teams. So all their year-long data about how good of a defense they are at forcing turnovers is kind of inflated against the bad teams. And you'll kind of see that. You'll see some really gaudy numbers here against the bad teams. 40% against Uwe Pui. McNee's 45% turnover rate. That's obscene. But yeah, you can see that 30s, 40s, 28s start to become white, and in some cases, even red. They did turn over Texas in the first game. Again, it was at home. I think it was kind of fluky, 19.7%. But Texas didn't make a 3. Again, Iowa State barely had any turnovers, which is pretty rare. So, yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. Looking at the matchup just a little bit further, you will see Iowa State's gaudy turnover defense, but I expect that to be more like 17. Texas doesn't really turn it over. I also like to look at individual players like Marcus Carr's turnover percentage is tight. Brock Cunningham, tight. Again, pretty strong. So Rebounding perspective, Iowa State a little bit of gas there, but I don't know. It's at Texas, place to be rocking. Iowa State's been bad on the road. I don't think they're going to force as many turnovers, which can limit their defensive ceiling quite a bit. So, all that is a long way of saying not that I'm betting Texas minus 7.5, just that I'm not betting Iowa State plus 7.5. Touch on these orange games here. EMU, you can look at their profile, wildly inconsistent. They had a 2-game stretch where they went like 3 for 40 from three-point range. I think I could do that from half court against 5 D1 players. In another 2-game stretch where they went 22 out of 43. So very difficult to cap. Shot quality has this right around the line, and Paddy median's really close to that too. So yeah, no. CSU, they are 11-15, but top 100-ish in most analytics sites. First game went to OT. So San Diego State showing as a play. Shot quality disagrees. And that's a lot of points to lay against a top 100 team. Georgia and Arkansas, you get home Arkansas, which is good. And you get road Georgia, which is good. So that's kind of interesting. Shot quality, not really in line there. And laying 2 touchdowns, not my favorite thing to do. Cite Norfolk State yesterday, February 20th. Last game, St. Louis, Richmond. You know what? I'll pull that up. We got time. It's fine. It's fine. It's easy. All right. Where are you at, Slew? We'll just go right to the matchup on that game. So this particular game, both these teams protect the ball fairly well and neither pressure the ball. So you're expecting clean possessions. So when this holds true, you get more shot attempts. You're not having those empty possessions of turnovers. Now we get to the offensive rebounds. St. Louis, a middling offensive rebound team, and Richmond, an elite defensive rebounding team. So you wouldn't expect too many second chances for St. Louis. And then Richmond, an atrocious offensive rebounding team, and St. Louis, a pretty darn good defensive rebounding team. So you shouldn't have empty possessions, should get shots off. Should not get second chance opportunities, so this kind of becomes a shooting contest. 2-point defense favors St. Louis. Coaching uncertainty with Mooney stepping down for the rest of the year with his health concerns. So yeah, I lean St. Louis, but again, there was not a whole lot of value there. I have them by less than possession. They might even close as a 1-point favorite or could already be there tonight. So some other games, man, they keep opening these Villanova lines short. I get it. I'm just surprised by it. So I don't want to keep betting against Villanova, but I mean, they're really, really giving them the benefit of the doubt on some of these things. So I flagged one more orange game down here just because median has Akron, shot quality has Akron, and Paddy itself has Toledo really short. So Akron getting more than a possession, kind of interesting there as well. So that's what I've got. I've made those 2 plays, Texas A&M money line and Miami +2. Hope to bounce back from the bagel. This is Cutting Down the Nets. We'll see you Wednesday.